And a pleasant good evening to one and all. It is time for Bronco baseball on a beautiful Friday night here in El Dorado. The Broncos, game 2 of the 4-game series with the Dodge City Athletics. Kurt Caden here, glad to have you tuned in for El Dorado Bronco baseball. And let's get you right into what's going on here. We've got the starting lineups for you. Let's give you the batting order for the visiting Dodge City A's. Robbie Glendenning will lead it off. He'll start at shortstop. And apologize, last night I was pronouncing Alex Aguirre's name wrong. I was calling him Aguiar. It's Alex Aguirre. He's at second base. Kevin Connolly will bat third. Luke Becker fourth. Steven Souders DHing, batting fifth. Matt Haggerty sixth. Leno Ramirez in the 7-hole. Austin Bernard catching, batting eighth. And Austin Shirley will be in left field, batting ninth. Out in the field for the El Dorado Broncos, the outfield, same as last night. Clayton Dalrymple's in right field, Wade Hanna in center field, and Tyler Sutherland in left field. Around the infield, Tony Colsing over at third base, Grant Ware at shortstop, Jake Woodkey at second base, and Elijah Christensen's at first base. Josh Galvin will handle the catching duties tonight. And on the hill for the Broncos is Andrew Morales. Skies have become cloudy here in El Dorado, but at the last check on the radar, didn't see any signs of precipitation coming. There may be later tonight, but hopefully we can get this game in without any rain delays or anything like that. Temperature is at 85 degrees as we get ready to start today. Now tomorrow is going to be a whole lot warmer here, but with some cloud cover, temperatures have stayed down a bit today. But tomorrow, heat advisory is already in effect, and it should be a warm one here at the yard tomorrow. So Robbie Glendenning will lead it off for Dodge City. Fastball high and ball one. Andrew Morales out of Kentucky Wesleyan College, 6 foot 160 from Carmel, Indiana. And the 1-0 pitch, chopped towards Colsing at third. He gloves it in fair territory, fires over to first. Plenty of time to retire Glendenning in the first out of the night. The arm strength of Tony Colsing is just ridiculously good. Andrew Morales will try to match his teammate Brandon Hicks. Hicks won his 5th game against 0 losses last night. Morales comes into play at 4-0. Morales, the ERA leader on the club, 31 innings pitched, a 1.42 ERA. He shut out Bethany in 6 innings of work last Saturday. Here's a bouncer out to Ware. He'll come up, easy Sunday hop, flip over to Christensen. The second out of the inning is Alex Aguirre. We're going to visit with Zach Beery shortly, the pitching coach for the El Dorado Broncos. We've had Zach up a few times already. Always fun to visit with him. The Broncos, last night's win, clinching a berth into the NBC World Series. Here's Kevin Connolly. Connolly at 326 hits one sharply out to second. Woodkey with the stop over to first, and a very efficient first inning for Morales. 3 infield ground ball outs. So after a half inning, it's Dodge City 0 and El Dorado coming to bat. Zach Beery making his way up here. Let's run down the lineup for you. For the Broncos, it'll be Dalrymple, Sutherland, Hanna. John Eberhardt, the DH tonight, followed by Elijah Christensen, Tony Colsing, Josh Galvin, Grant Ware, and Jake Woodkey. For Dodge City out in the field tonight, in right field is Matt Haggerty, the center fielder Kevin Connolly, and in left field Austin Shirley. And around the infield, Leno Ramirez is at third. The shortstop, Robbie Glendenning. At second base tonight is Alex Aguirre. And at first base, Luke Becker. Catching tonight, Austin Bernard. And pitching for the A's is Matt Lutzenheiser. And we'll give you some numbers on him in a moment, but we want to get right into visiting with Zach Beery. He's a busy guy, and thanks for coming up, Zach.
You're welcome, not a problem.
Brandon Hicks goes 5-0 last night. Didn't go maybe as deep as maybe you thought. I don't know if you were hoping for more innings from him, but what did you see from Brandon last night?
Brandon did all right last night. I feel like that he was slowing his arm down a little bit on his off-speed pitches, his slider and his changeup a little bit. But fastball velo was up, his command was on. I just feel like he was getting a little bit tired, so we cut him a little bit short. Would have liked maybe at least one more out of him, but definitely enough to do the job for us last night for sure.
And the relief corps kept us on edge, but they got the job done. Salentine hit a batter to force in a run, but then got a very tough out in Kevin Connolly, and then Feige walked the bases loaded, but he got a big pop out to end the game.
Correct, yep, and Drew Johnson filled the gap there between Salentine and Feige, and, Feige's had, like I said before, he's had a little bit of struggle here towards the late, and Salentine has as well, but, we're still confident in all of our arms and their ability to get the job done for us late.
Dalrymple leading off for El Dorado. He pops this one a mile high, just past the infield, and Aguirre has it for the first out of the inning. It seems like you've got a nice little rotation, though. Salentine usually seems to fill in if the starters go 6 or 7. He's in there. You mentioned Drew Johnson last night, and Feige seems to be pretty much locked in as that closer for your squad.
Yeah, for the most part, Feige is pretty much our back-end guy and our closer. Josh Witherspoon from Cisco is another option for us from the left side towards the back end. Salentine has done a good job for us there to bridge the gap in the 7th or the 8th. Even though he has struggled a little bit as of late, we still feel that he is still pretty effective. And we moved Drew Johnson to the bullpen as of late as well. He was a starter for us all summer long, and we need to deepen the staff a little bit in the bullpen. So it's been an easy adjustment for him. He was a guy that was a bullpen arm at Neosho, so I feel like that's a pretty good fit for him.
Tyler Sutherland just on the first pitch grounded out to pitcher. So 2 away for El Dorado, and Wade Hanna up there. Hanna with a big 2-run home run. It seemed to kind of inspire, and not that Hicks was pitching bad, but boy, you get a couple runs for him, and you got to feel pretty good. And he seemed to be pretty confident as he went into the 5th inning up 3-0.
That's exactly right. And, telling the guys, to go out and throw with a lead. And I feel like our starters have done a good job of taking that and rolling with it a little bit. When we are up 2-3, we've been putting up some crooked numbers towards the, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. And when guys are rolling, it makes it that much easier for them to fall or keep into that groove that they've established early.
Andrew Morales, the top half of the inning, 3 infield ground ball outs. You got to like what you see early on from him.
Yeah, and it's the same thing from Mo every week, and he's a guy that's been really consistent for us. The struggles that he's had in the spring and coming here, and like I said before, wanting to prove something, and he really has, and he's really one of our better starting arms for our staff.
Offensively, I know you're the pitching coach, but I read the numbers for Clayton Dalrymple. You got 10 guys hitting over 300, but Clayton leading the way in hitting and on-base percentage and runs and RBIs, and sometimes I think I failed to mention how good of a defender he is. Threw a guy at home last night. How much has he meant to this club?
He's meant a lot, actually, and he's a pretty special player. He's a kid that is never down. I really like Clayton as a person and a ball player, and he's 110% all the time, and really picks us up and has been a key part of our hitting lineup, starting us off, being in the one spot, and it takes him maybe one at bat to make an adjustment, and he's locked in. And we had a statistic earlier this summer in moving guys over, and he led that statistic as well. I think it was somewhere up around the 700 mark where, he gets a guy on with less than 2 and he's going to move him over. So he's a big RBIs guy. He doesn't try and do too much. He's very baseball savvy, and it's really great to have a ball player like Clayton Dalrymple on our team.
I saw Matt Holcomb earlier in shorts, but the swelling has gone down, and he thought maybe Sunday he might be back out. What's the word on Matt, and how slowly do you want to bring him back in?
Matt has gotten fully released, and that's a huge thing for us. The incident that happened during BP, took a ball to the eye in the outfield, it was kind of scary there for us for a bit. You know, it was pretty traumatic when you see it at first. But he's had a couple of days off and has gone to the doctor, and the doctor said that he's good to go. So we'll work him back into BP for the next couple of days, and maybe he'll DH on Sunday for us, and then probably get a spot start there at first base against Wellington on Tuesday.
Now, the Broncos have qualified for the NBC World Series, but I just found out, of course, we got the Wellington game Tuesday, then a 3-game series at the South Champion, and then Valley Center coming in before you go to Wichita. How will you kind of massage your staff? I know you want them clicking, yet you don't want them worn down either. Is that a tough position to be in?
I would rather us play those games against Valley Center than have 5 or 6 days off of just practicing, you know, and throwing bullpens. I think that live innings is a good thing for our staff right now. Getting them on the bump regardless is going to be beneficial, but you can't replace those live innings. And so I think that with us playing Wellington, I don't know how much that's going to mean for them. It's not going to mean a whole lot for us. They still need to do their job there in Hayesville, you know. But playing Valley Center, I think it's just going to keep us on track. We're going to continue to do what we've done all summer long. It's going to be really beneficial for our bullpen arms and keep them in check. So we're just, you know, kind of taking it still game by game, even though we are still looking ahead for this 3-game playoff here.
One last question. I know you want to get back down as Luke Becker walks. Steven Souter coming up for the fans of the Broncos. You guys have clinched out the spot to the NBC. Do you still take every game? You know, you want to go out and win every game, right? Will the managing from Chad or yourself, will that change at all, or do you kind of keep the same mindset?
It doesn't change at all. We're definitely going to keep the same mindset. We've done our job in winning the North and getting to the NBC, but now we've changed goals in establishing the best record in the Jayhawk, and that's something that they haven't done since 2009, and that was a special year for them. You know, winning the Jayhawk and going on to the NBC and winning the NBC was a special year for the El Dorado Broncos, and we're putting up similar numbers hitting and pitching-wise and defensively. So I think that, you know, I've said it a lot, that this team really does gel and come together, and I think that we can do some pretty special things here in the near future.
Well, since we've had you up here, we've had a walk and a wild pitch, so we'll send you back down, but appreciate all the information.
Yeah,
good to visit with you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Zach Beery joining us, as he has done a few times this year. Try to get him down here, and driving one out to right field is Souter to the wall and off the scoreboard, and a home run for Steven Souter. So we need to get Zach Beery down there. He's on his way back down the stairs. A 2-run home run given up by Andrew Morales as a very talented Steven Souter drives it out to right field, a no-doubt home run, and a 2-0 Dodge City lead. And the first deficit that El Dorado's had in a long time. So a 2-run home run from Souter after a leadoff walk to Luke Becker. And that'll bring up Matt Haggerty. Haggerty had a good night last night for Dodge City. He went 3 for 4, 3 singles. So 2-0 Dodge City, and here's a foul ball straight back. Haggerty at 255 on the season. So Morales, who came in with an ERA of 1.42, gives up that 2-run bomb here in the second inning. See if he can regroup. You know, he's been really in a good groove all season long, so it's not that you root for bumps in the road, but it's going to happen as a pitcher, and now you like to see how is Andrew going to bounce back from that, and he's going to induce a nice easy ground ball here, and Haggerty is the first out of the inning. Always nice to see how do these guys respond with adversity. So Leno Ramirez will come up to the dish for the Dodge City A's. Ramirez from Dodge City Community College. 5'9", 180. And he looks at ball one. Nice to have so many of you tuned in already here tonight for Bronco Baseball. Again, if we lose our signal, you'll see kind of a black screen or maybe my mug. We'll get it reconnected just as quick as we can. Ramirez swings and loses the bat, and the bat ends up over the dugout and out of play. We have seen that a lot here in the last couple weeks. generally from the opposition, too. Well, that bat comes flying out of the batter's hands. It looked at the Dodge City dugout, and well, everyone kind of buckles their knees a bit. You just don't know with that bat how it's going to fly or whatnot. Unfortunately for the A's in the dugout, it flew over the dugout and out of play. If that lands in the dugout, oh boy, that'll really scatter a dugout. So Josh Galvin a chance to go out and talk to Andrew Morales. Both those gentlemen play at Kentucky Wesleyan College. Andrew, we got to interview him last week, and he says he has a good relationship with all the catchers, but obviously he has a tighter relationship with Galvin, and he really enjoys when Josh is behind the plate when he's pitching. So he's got the battery mate that he would want here tonight. Oh, they are living together as well. Love that. Probably Eberhardt's in there too, isn't he? All the Kentucky Wesleyan guys. Ramirez, a swing and a miss at the off speed. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-0 Dodge City here in the top of the second inning. And the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll bring up Austin Bernard. First email of the night. Yeah, good to hear from Brad Christensen. Fun to meet Brad on family weekend here. His son Sparks is down at first base. Morales pumps one in, and not sure, that must have been a little up. 1-0 to Bernard. Bernard from Pepperdine University, and he ropes one out to center field, but Wade Hanna's got it right there in his tracks, and that will end the inning. But the Dodge City A's make a little bit of noise in the second inning. They get a 2-run bomb from Steven Souter. 2 runs on a hit, no errors, and no one left. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. Dodge City 2, El Dorado 0. So the El Dorado Broncos trailing for the first time in a while. Trail 2-0 after the 2-run home run from Steven Souter in the top half of this inning. John Eberhardt will lead it off here for the Broncos in the home half of the second inning. Eberhardt, 5'9", 185. Hometown is Indianapolis, Indiana. John did not play last night, and he looks at the first pitch outside. Ball 1. Eberhardt hitting .311 on the season, 28 out of 90. And of those 28 hits, 9 doubles, 1 triple, and 4 home runs. He's driven in 20 on the season. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eberhardt. Eberhardt, Christensen, and Clinching. John fists one out to center field, and that's down for a base hit. So the first hit of the night off of Lutzenheiser, and that'll bring up Elijah Sparks Christensen. Elijah saw his average dip just below 300 last night. Elijah made out his first 3 times, but then singled in the 8th inning. 1 for 4 last night officially. 298 now is Christensen on the season, and he looks at strike 1. Elijah, 25 out of 84. Elijah's due to go yard. He nearly went home run last night, but he was robbed by Austin Shirley. Here's one bouncing inside. That'll get past the catcher, Bernard, and actually it hit Christensen. So hit by pitch. Not a bad place to get hit. Kind of a curveball that dropped down. Now the base umpire is going to come out, and they're going to say, no, did not get hit. I wish they would have said that about a moment ago, so I wouldn't have put it in my book. So I need Elijah to get on. I've got him at first base in my scorebook. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll leave, just in case he gets hit, I'll leave the HBP on my scorecard here. Eberhardt did advance to second, so wild pitch. I believe they're on Lutzenheiser. So the Broncos with a runner down at second base. And Christensen lifts one out to left center field. The A's giving chase to the wall. Gone! Elijah Christensen. He was due for a long ball. Did I call that or what? So I can put, instead of HBP, HR. For Elijah Christensen. And we're tied at 2. For Christensen, his 7th home run of the season and his 21st and 22nd runs batted in. Here's Tony Colsing. And Colsing, first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play. How big was Tony's leadoff double last night in the 7th inning? He eventually scored, giving El Dorado a 4-2 lead. The Broncos hung on by their fingernails 4-3 to win last night. Second pitch out of the zone, a ball and a strike. So in the top half of this inning, a walk and a home run. In the bottom half, a single and a home run. Colsing, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Fairly pleasant, really. Mid-80s here, a little bit of a breeze out of the south. Colsing just did tap that one foul. So it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, all the excitement of last night's game archived here on my YouTube page. Tonight's game will be as well following the broadcast. Colsing looks at one in the turf, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tony's average at .202 on the season. And the 2-2 pitch. Hit down to third. Ramirez takes it on the short hop over to first to retire Tony Colsing. Those short hops are always kind of tricky, and Ramirez gloved it beautifully. So that'll bring up Josh Galvin. And Jose and Migdalia Galvin with an email. They have made it kind of their nightly routine when we have home games to turn on the computer. And sure appreciate your kind words and support, Jose and Migdalia. First pitch was a strike, that one ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Broncos in their camouflage unis tonight, black numerals. Dodge City, same looking unis as we saw last night. Curveball, and Galvin jumped on it, but he was way out in front and fouls it out of play. Josh at .258 on the season. 17 hits, 6 of those are doubles. He's gone out of the yard 1 time. He's another one. I just feel like he's going to be busting out. He's got tremendous power. Switch hitter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he nubs this one off the end of the bat over to the pitcher, Lutzenheiser, over to first to retire Galvin. So Josh has been going to the switch hit, but there he batted left against the left-handed throwing Lutzenheiser. And that'll bring up Grant Ware, the shortstop. Grant out of Tarleton State University. His average nearing 300. He's at 297 entering play tonight. And he looks at ball one. And apologize, losing connection right as Jake Woodkey ripped a single past Leno Ramirez. So Clayton Dalrymple at the plate with an 0-1 count. Runners at first and second, 2 away here in the bottom of the second inning. And the pitch to Dalrymple, hit out to shortstop. Ware did his best to distract Glenn Denning, but Robbie, with good eyes, gloves it, flips over to second to retire the Broncos. But El Dorado scores 2 times on 4 hits. And we're through 2 innings. El Dorado 2, Dodge City 2. So an action-packed second inning there, a couple of home runs, one by Dodge City's Steven Souter, and then when El Dorado came up, Elijah Christensen, a 2-run home run. So we're tied at 2 as we head to the third inning. Austin Shirley will lead it off for the A's against the right-hander Andrew Morales, and the first pitch is in there for strike one. It's got to give Andrew some confidence as he gave up that 2-run homer in the top half, and when he returns to the mound, he's back into a tie game. The 0-1. Again, trying the outside, just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Austin Shirley from Georgetown University. And the pitch, that's outside, ball 2. Shirley enters play tonight with a .253 batting average. Last night, Austin batted in the second slot, was 0 for 2. Took a very painful fastball off the upper knee area against Nick Salentine. He walked twice as well last night. He's ahead 3-1 here, and he'll walk on 5 pitches. So a leadoff walk, and that's started trouble for El Dorado last inning. So back to the top of the order, Robbie Glendenning. Glendenning, his average has dipped just below 300 at 299 coming in. He's 0 for 1 tonight. A ground out to Tony Colsing in the first inning. And Morales starts him off with ball 1. So a ball and no strikes. And Morales over to first base. And he is safe. And that pitch inside. Morales having a little trouble finding that zone right now. 2 balls and no strikes. So Galvin will go talk to him. Two 4-0 for El Dorado. 2 1-0 for Dodge City. Morales entered the game tonight, 15 walks and 23 strikeouts in his 31 innings of work, and fires in a strike, and Glendenning fouls it into the parking lot. 2 balls and a strike to Glendenning. We're back on the air tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, game 3 of the 4-game set between Dodge City and El Dorado. Here's the 2-1, and ripped out to left field. Sutherland started in, goes back and makes the catch for the first out. Glendenning struck it well, but right at Tyler Sutherland. So Alex Aguirre will come up. Aguirre 0 for 1. He grounded out to short his first time. He's at 269 coming into play tonight. Leading off first is Shirley, and Morales drops a curveball in there for strike 1. So no balls and a strike to Alex Aguirre. Aguirre went 0 for 5 last night, and he was the last out of the game on that 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded, induced a pop-up that Cameron Knight caught in foul territory. Another curveball that stays up, ball 2. Or ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, I should say. 2-2 here in the top of the third inning. And this one's hit out to center field. Wade Hanna takes a few steps back. He's shy of the track and makes the catch for the second out. So 2 down after a leadoff walk, and here comes Kevin Connolly. Connolly last night, 2 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. But you might remember, boy, the big at bat last night, 7th inning. Connolly up there, bases loaded. 1-run game. And the Broncos were able to retire the terrific hitter Connolly on a ground out. And that was his 4th at bat in that key play. And Kevin had drilled the ball pretty hard his first 3 times. He's ahead 1-0 here, and he bounces one foul. Colsing will glove it in foul territory. So a ball and a strike to Kevin Connolly. Luke Becker waits on deck. Morales has his sign from Galvin. And the pitch, and that one's in the turf. Josh with a nice block. And 2 balls and a strike. El Dorado will have Sutherland, Hanna, and Eberhardt coming up in the bottom half of this inning. And the 2-1 from Morales, a little bit low, ball 3. The Broncos have clinched a spot in the NBC World Series. They have a 4.5 game lead on Liberal with just 4 regular season games left, so they cannot be caught. But Zach Beery, if you missed it, talked earlier that no difference, no change in how the Broncos want to attack these games. They're not going to take their foot off the accelerator, so to speak. They've accomplished their first goal. Now they want to have the best overall record in the Jayhawk. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. Full count here to Kevin Connolly. Shirley will take off on the pitch. Connolly just missed, got under it. Here comes Sutherland in. He is under it, and that is the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. El Dorado and Dodge City are tied at 2. Kurt Caden here. Welcome back to El Dorado. And Tyler Sutherland, first pitch swinging as he was in his first at bat. So he's seen 2 pitches and been retired with a ground out to pitcher, and that one a fly out to center field. That'll bring up Wade Hanna. Wade struck out his first time. So Wade Hanna stepping in, had a big 2-run home run last night. Started a 3-run 4th inning for the Broncos. Looks at strike 1. Here's the 0-1, fouled back, strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. The Galvins, we lost our connection for a moment, and it was during, their screen went dark when Josh Galvin was up. Josh grounded out to the pitcher. Got out in front of a off-speed pitch, it looked like, kind of nubbed it. 1 hopper to the pitcher, and they retired Josh in his first at-bat. Wade Hanna has a 1-2 count here in the bottom of the third inning, and the pitch, Hanna fights it off foul. So a ball and 2 strikes to Wade Hanna. Wade at .317 on the season, 32 hits and 101 at bats. Hit his first home run of the season last night. Fists one out to right field, and coming in is Haggerty, and he'll make the catch for the second out. So John Eberhardt comes up. John singled and scored on the 2-run home run from Elijah Christensen. Right-handed batter is John Eberhardt. And the pitch from Lutzenheiser right in there for strike 1. Lutzenheiser in his 6th start of the season. 25 innings pitched, giving up 30 hits. Here's a liner out to shortstop, and a catch by Glenn Denning, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the third for El Dorado. We'll go to the 4th inning. El Dorado 2, Dodge City 2. So Luke Becker will lead it off for the A's here in the top half of the 4th inning. And Morales starts him off with a fastball strike. Becker walked and scored on Steven Souders' 2-run home run in the 2nd inning. And the 0-1 pitch from Morales. A little high, ball 1. 1 ball and a strike. Luke Becker at .259 on the season, left-handed batter. And it's ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Luke Becker. Luke out of Northern Iowa Community College, 6 foot 190. South breeze blowing, and here's one ripped out to second base, past Woodkey and into right field to Dalrymple, a base hit for Becker. So the 3rd straight inning, the A's getting their leadoff batter on base. Twice by walk, that time by single, and Steven Souder comes up. All Steven did was drill the scoreboard here at McDonald Stadium in his first at bat. A no-doubter. And the first pitch is diving down low, ball 1. For Souder, that was his 6th home run and his 20th and 21st RBI on the season. So his average started at .302, has gone up probably a bit now after that home run. Souder was the catcher last night, DHing here tonight. The 1-0 pitch caught the plate. Strike one, a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch to Souter. Low, ball two. 2 balls and a strike. Cloud cover up above, but I have to check my radar. Again, when I got up here, didn't see any precipitation in the area. The 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. Kind of nubbed to third. Colsing's only play is going to be at first base to retire Souter. I live about an hour south of here, and we had cloud cover and rain showers all day, but I think the rain avoided El Dorado today. So 1 away, and here's Matt Haggerty. Haggerty 0 for 1. Was 3 for 4 last night. Singled in his first 3 at-bats before the Broncos finally retired Matt. And the first pitch from Morales upstairs, ball 1. 2-2 our score. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Dodge City with Luke Becker down at second base. He had a leadoff single. Souter grounded out to Colsing. And the pitch is hit out to Christensen, an easy catch for Elijah, and that's the second out. That'll bring up Leno Ramirez. Leno struck out his first time. That's the only strikeout to this point for Morales. Andrews given up 2 hits. He's got a strikeout and 2 walks here in the top half of the 4th. First pitch outside, ball 1. Ramirez, a .234 hitter coming in, 18 for 77. 3 doubles. And the pitch from Morales, that's fouled. Strike 1. 2 away here in the Dodge City 4th inning. The Broncos at 23-9, Liberal 19-14. Hayes is 17-16. And Dodge City at 14-19 in the Jayhawk North. The 1-1, a little bit low, ball 2. There's been some additions to the Broncos schedule that you may not be aware of. They are making up the 1 game with Wellington here Tuesday night. We'll have that for you. Then next weekend, whoever ends up winning the Jayhawk South, which will be either Hayesville or Wellington, the Broncos will play a 3-game series at whoever wins those. So we won't have those games. And then I believe it's July 27th and 28th. They'll host Valley Center for 2 games before the NBC World Series begins. So I'll double check those dates, but the Broncos will have, of course, tonight's home game tomorrow and Sunday, Wellington here Tuesday, and then Valley Center for a couple of non-league games. 3 balls and a strike to Ramirez. He ropes one out into center field. Wade Hanna tracking it down, shy of the track, and makes the catch. Ramirez put a good charge into it, but Wade Hanna runs it down for the Broncos. Great team speed for El Dorado out in the outfield with Dalrymple, Hanna, and Sutherland. So the leadoff single doesn't come back to hurt El Dorado. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Broncos 2, A's 2. Elijah Christensen will lead it off for El Dorado here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Christensen, a 2-run home run, his first at bat, a no-doubter out into left center field, which tied the game at 2. And we're still tied at 2. First pitch, fastball way outside, ball 1. Christensen hit his 7th home run of the season. And that is good for tops on the team in home runs. Fastball outside was ball 1, then a changeup that dove down low, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Elijah Christensen. Lutzenheiser's pitched, and that bounces in front of the plate, ball 3. So Elijah might be in the mind of Matt Lutzenheiser right now. Christensen, Colsing, and Galvin, the 3 due up here for El Dorado in the 4th. And Christensen taking all the way, looks at strike 1. The sun starting to peek through some of the clouds. You might be able to tell on your screen. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that one's way inside, ball 4. So Christensen will take his walk. And that'll bring up Tony Colsing. Tony Colsing from South Dakota State, hometown of Chaska, Minnesota. And I've enjoyed the emails from Lynn Colsing throughout the season. Elijah with a modest lead off of first base. Colsing, a right-handed batter, and he rips one towards the third baseline. Ramirez gloves it over to second for 1, over to first. Colsing able to beat that out. So they retire Christensen on the fielder's choice. Leno Ramirez plays a pretty solid third base for Dodge City. Josh Galvin coming up. Galvin nubbed one to the pitcher his first time. He's 0 for 1. I know Jose and Migdalia are watching in Cicero, Illinois. Colson gets his lead off of first, and he's picked off. And the first baseman didn't know it was coming. It ends up into the bullpen. Here comes Colsing on his way to third. Chad Garwick winding his arm. Here comes Colsing on the way home. The throw to the plate. Save. Tony Colsing. What a play that was. He was picked off, but the pitcher fooled not only Tony Colsing, but also Luke Becker. Becker didn't know it was coming. And by the time he realized it came, it had rolled all the way down into the Dodge City bullpen. So that's an error and a freebie for El Dorado. Now, is that an E1 or an E3? Galvin fouls it off. E1, Lutzenheiser gets the air, and he had the great move, but unfortunately for the A's, it fooled the first baseman Becker, along with Tony Colsing. Galvin looks at that one outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the 1-1 pitch to Galvin, and he ropes one out into right field. Haggerty looking to play it off the wall, and it hits high off the wall. Galvin thought about going to 2. Great throw by Haggerty. Now Galvin's hustling back, and he's back in safely. Josh Galvin, boy, it just there's a yellow strip out there on the wall. You might be able to see it. It's a little tough to see on your screen, I'm sure, unless you really blow it up. There's a yellow line, and Galvin hit just below that line. So near home run for Galvin. Turns out to be a long single. And here comes Grant Ware. Grant with a sharp single out into left field his first time. And the pitch, Ware swinging and fouls it straight back. The Broncos mentioned a lot this season about the 3 catchers that they have. You know, they really have 3 solid middle infielders with Woodkey, Kasser, and Ware. Grant fisting this one towards the dugout, and it lands on the 3rd step of the dugout. So night in and night out, you'll see maybe Ware and Woodkey. Maybe you'll see Ware and Kasser. Woodkey. E3. Woodkey has the ability, he's played second and shortstop. And Grant, trying to protect, ends up flipping it out towards second base, and Aguirre had it go through his glove, and now they're going to get a double play out of it. Grant Ware figured that the catch was going to be made. Now, we had a similar play last night on a line drive where Kasser dropped it, but that's one of those moments you just kind of assume he's going to catch it, and in this great game, you just got to run everything out. Don't take anything for granted. The second baseman, Aguirre, dropped it, and it turns out to be a 4-6-3 double play. That ends the fourth inning, but the Broncos score one run, and it's been changed to an E3, an error on the first baseman, Luke Becker. Tony Colsing reached on a fielder's choice, scored on that three-base error. We head to the fifth inning. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. So an interesting way to end the bottom of the fourth inning. I think it makes for a good discussion, as Austin Bernard will lead off the fifth inning for Dodge City. Last night, there was a line drive out to second base at Kyle Kasser. It looked like he pretty much dropped it on purpose to turn a double play. Here's Bernard ripping one out to left. Sutherland's got it. The A's have hit it hard a few times, but they have hit it hard generally straight at either Wade Hanna or Tyler Sutherland. Now, on that play, I don't think Aguirre tried to drop it. And Ware should have run all the way through. But in my opinion, the Broncos did not get the double play last night. But the A's get the double play here. I mean, again, you have to judge intent, I'm sure. Austin Shirley looks at strike one. Shirley walked his first time. Left-handed batter, the number 9 batter in the Dodge City lineup, and that curveball just missed the corner. Ball one. So we're in the top of the fifth inning, 3-2, El Dorado. 3-5-0 for the Broncos, 2-2-1 for Dodge City. And Morales now going from as if there was someone on base. And there's another hard hit ball, but right at Tyler Sutherland. I'd like to say that Chad Gerwick and the Broncos are really aligning their defense beautifully, but I don't see really anything. Sutherland's pretty much playing straight away, and the A's are hitting it hard, but right at Tyler. So 2 away, and here's Robbie Glendenning. Morales from the stretch and the pitch, and that one's in there for strike one. We've seen this before from Andrew during a game. He will go just to the stretch, and I meant to ask him that last time. I'm not sure if it maybe mechanics, maybe he feels a little more comfortable like this, or maybe, maybe it just kind of gets him back into the groove. I'm not sure. That pitch in the turf, 1 ball and 1 strike to Robbie Glendenning. 2 away in the top half of the 5th inning. And the pitch from Morales. Hit towards Clinching. He'll take it on a few hops over to first base. And a routine 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Morales. We're halfway through from McDonald Stadium. Broncos 3, A's 2. Back in a moment here on YouTube. We're halfway through from McDonald Stadium. Broncos 3, A's 2. I apologize for that, losing our connection. I don't know if it's the heat or what. We're having a little tougher time tonight with the connection. Jake Woodkey leading off, and he popped out into shallow center field, and a nice running catch made by Alex Aguirre. So Clayton Dalrymple up with 1 away here in the Bronco 5th inning. Clayton 0 for 2. His average now up to 437 on the season. 55 hits, leads the team. And here's one squirted towards first base. Clayton running it hard, but Becker gloves it and retires Clayton himself for the second out. Sure enjoyed emailing back and forth with Rich Dalrymple last night. And hopefully they're having a good time at their vacation down in Florida. Here's Tyler Sutherland, who's 0 for 2. Sutherland is headed to Youngstown State University in the fall. Looks at ball 1. Tyler telling me last night he broken his hand last fall, but he's worked back from that injury. Fouls this one straight back. A ball and a strike. Sutherland at 337 on the season. 7 doubles and 1 homer. The 1-1 from Lutzenheiser, and that one's grounded right out to second base. Aguirre's got it, and the Broncos go down quietly in the 5th inning. Good inning for Matt Lutzenheiser. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the 6th inning. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. Lost our connection there again. Morales' 3-2 pitch was fouled off, and it sounded like it broke Luke Becker's bat. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Becker. Morales has a sign from Galvin, and the 3-2. That's outside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Luke Becker, and that will bring up Souter. Souter 1 for 2. That one was a loud one, a 2-run home run in the second inning. And the pitch from Morales. That's outside, ball 1. And Andrew wants Josh Galvin to come out and go over the signs again. Our email address, cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com. Back on the air for the next 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday night here at beautiful McDonald Stadium, and then again on Tuesday night. All of the links posted on my YouTube page, also on the El Dorado Bronco Facebook page, and on the El Dorado Bronco Twitter page. Morales tries the inside, and he misses. 2 balls and no strikes to the dangerous Steven Souter. Souter can look for his pitch here, 2-0. Just a step or 2 lead for Becker off of first. Here's the pitch, and just low, ball 3. Good eye by Souter. That was close. So after retiring the first 2, Becker walked, and now 3-0 on Souter. And a throw over to first. Souter goes to Boston College University's switch hitter. And that pitch does catch the corner. Strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. And now Souter looking for his pitch. 3-2 El Dorado. And it's hit out to shortstop. Grant Ware's got it. Will just step on the bag and retire the A's, as running on the play was Luke Becker. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. So Wade Hanna will lead it off for El Dorado here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 El Dorado. 3-5-0 for the Broncos. 2-2-1 for Dodge City. That error is looming big right now. It was a 2-2 game with one away, and Tony Colsing on first. He was picked off of first, but the ball went over an unsuspecting Luke Becker and all the way down into the Dodge City bullpen, and Colsing raced all the way around and scored, and that's the difference in the game right now. 3-2 Broncos, 1 ball and 1 strike to Hannah. And Wade hits one out to center field, and that one's going to drop in there. A base hit for Wade Hannah. So a good start for the Broncos here in the 6th inning. John Eberhardt will now come up to the plate. John 1 for 2 tonight. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning, lined out to short in the 3rd. Eberhardt did not play last night. He's DHing here tonight. And a good lead off of first for Wade Hannah. And Lutzenheiser throws that way. A little better throw might have made that even closer. Wade had a pretty good lead. And again, Wade gets all the way out to the cutout. And a quick throw over to first, and Hannah's back safely again. Wade on the season with 9 stolen bases. That's good for 2nd on the team behind Clayton Dalrymple, who's got 16. And the pitch, kind of a quick pitch, and a throw down to first, and Hannah's back in again. 1 ball and no strikes. So Wade Hannah drawing the attention of both Lutzenheiser and Bernard. And again, kind of a quick pitch there from Lutzenheiser. And again, it's well off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to John Eberhardt. Eberhardt with 4 homers on the season. 20 runs batted in. Wade again out to the cutout. Lutzenheiser holds for a moment, and John got a good pitch to hit, fouled it straight back. 2 balls and a strike. Leadoff batter Wade Hannah getting on base with a single to center field. Eberhardt up. Christensen waiting on deck. The A's bullpen is quiet. Lutzenheiser will go back to first. Kind of a late return back by Hannah, but he got there in time. Two balls and a strike. Lutzenheiser, a long look over at first. He'll come home, and Eberhardt a swing and a miss, strike 2. Both teams scoring 2 runs on 2-run home runs in the 2nd inning, and that error on Becker happened in the 4th inning when Colsing scored to give the Broncos a 3-2 lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th now. And the 2-2, and Eberhardt pops it up into foul territory. Haggerty giving a chase and runs it down and quickly turns and gets into a throwing position, and Hannah cannot advance. So Elijah Christensen will step up. Elijah homered in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th. Wade Hannah still down at first base for El Dorado. Elijah entered play tonight at .298 on the season. Lutzenheiser a long look over to first, and now the curveball off the plate, ball 1. Elijah's homer went out to left center field, one of the deepest parts of the yard. And the pitch, and boy, Elijah with a mighty swing, but he hits it straight up in the air. Becker into foul territory, and then makes a tricky catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So Tony Colsing will come up to the dish. Tony 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, scored on that 3-base error. 2 away for the Broncos here in the 6th inning. And Colsing fouls off the first offering from Matt Lutzenheiser. As the A's now look like Giles Fox heading down to the bullpen for the Dodge City A's. The 0-1 pitch coming to Tony Clinching. And back over to first, and Hannah was picked off, but a balk is going to be called. The umpire was right on it. So no pitch. And Hannah gets second base on the balk. Lutzenheiser came into this game with a 5.61 ERA, but he's looked pretty good here tonight. This one in the turf, nice stop by Bernard. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tony Clinching. Lutzenheiser with 10 walks and 20 strikeouts coming in 25 innings pitched. And he comes in with a record of 1-2. Hannah with a good lead off a second, and the pitch, Clinching fouls it down the third base line. So a ball and 2 strikes to Tony Clinching. 22 hits, 5 of those doubles, 4 of them over the wall. Big double last night in the 7th inning to lead off for El Dorado. This one in the turf, ball 2. So Clinching with the key run last night that gave the Broncos a 4-2 lead. They end up hanging on to win 4-3, and he's got, to this point, the key run as well as the Broncos lead 3-2. A chance to drive in one in Wade Hannah, who stands down at second base. Here's the 2-2. Hannah's going. Throw down to third, and Ramirez with a great catch and tag. Terrific play by Leno Ramirez. And a strong throw from Bernard, and the Broncos are done here in the 6th inning. We'll head to the 7th. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. So the El Dorado Broncos leading as we head to the 7th inning, and El Dorado making a pitching change. Josh Thomas comes into the game in relief of Andrew Morales. Morales can only win it. Morales tonight goes 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on just 2 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 2. Josh Thomas out of Murray State University. Hometown is Parker, Colorado. 6'3", 215 out there on the hill, and he starts off Haggerty with 2 straight strikes. No balls and 2 strikes. Thomas comes in 13 innings pitched, a 5.40 ERA. The 0-2 outside, ball one. Josh is 1-1 on the season. 4 walks and 7 strikeouts in his 13 innings. And the 1-2 pitch from Thomas, and he goes with the curveball. It's outside, ball two. And the 2-2 pitch just missed, ball three. Matt Holcomb, the injured Bronco, got injured in batting practice last weekend, has been cleared. Look, he thought maybe he might get in on Sunday night. Here's a liner out to shortstop, and Grant Ware lays out and makes a terrific catch. Ball was hit hard by Haggerty, but a terrific diving catch by Grant Ware. So Leno Ramirez will come up. He's 0 for 2. Josh Thomas and Brandon Hicks, both from Murray State. Pitchers on this Broncos staff. Ramirez, a strikeout in the second inning, flew out to center field in the fourth inning. And the first pitch from Thomas, and waving and missing is Leno Ramirez. So no balls and a strike to Ramirez. And the pitch from Thomas, that's swung at and missed again by Ramirez, 0-2. Defense playing straight up here on Ramirez. And the 0-2 in the turf. Galvin with the stop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colsing's at third, Ware at second, at short, Woodkey at second, and Elijah Christensen at first base. Sutherland, Hanna, and Dalrymple in the outfield. That curveball stayed upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomas got it in front of Haggerty before Matt worked it to a full count. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Ramirez, and fouled straight back. Austin Bernard waits on deck for Dodge City. And the 2-2, Ramirez rips it foul down into the Dodge City pen. Wellington's at Hayesville tonight. Jayhawks South Division implications there. Wellington won last night over Hayesville. Derby and Bethany are playing a doubleheader tonight down in Bethany, Oklahoma. Hayes and Liberal were rained out. The 2-2, low, ball 3. So again, Thomas gets way out in front, but now has to come up with a pitch here at 3-2. Wellington entering play tonight, 2.5 games behind Hayesville with 3 to go. Actually, 4 to go for Wellington. And Ramirez rips one out to right. Dalrymple started in, now leaps into the air and makes a great catch. Clayton Dalrymple. So the defense shining for the Broncos here in the 7th inning. So 2 away in the A's 7th inning, and here's Austin Bernard. The last single, or the last hit for Dodge City, was a Luke Becker leadoff single in the 4th inning. Thomas starts him off with a curveball, strike 1. 3-2 Broncos here in the top of the 7th inning. Right-handed pitcher Josh Thomas winds and deals. This one's lifted foul out of play, strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes, and Thomas again way out in front. Here's the 0-2 from Thomas. And a swing and a miss. Galvin will have to throw it down to first to retire the transaction, and the Broncos cruise through the 7th. 1, 2, 3. Nice inning for Josh Thomas. It's time to stretch at McDonald Stadium. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. So the Dodge City A's make a pitching change as we're into the bottom of the 7th inning. Giles Fox into the game for Dodge, and another lefty. Jay Rollins last night came out of the pen a lefty. The starter tonight, Lutzenheiser, was a lefty. And now Giles Fox a lefty. And his first pitch to Clinching. Down low, ball 1. Tony was at the plate when Josh Galvin with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And Galvin up the middle, hits off the mound. Gears got it over to first to retire Galvin. I don't think that hit Giles Fox. I think it just ricocheted right off the mound. And The Galvins, I know, watching in Illinois, it's twice when their sons come up that have lost our connection. Not intentional, I promise. Hopefully you were able to see that. Josh put good wood on it, but it ricocheted off the mound, and Aguirre, who has great range, was able to track it down. And now Grant Ware lifts one out to left field, and Shirley will make the catch. So 3 up and 3 down for El Dorado in the 7th inning. Got another tight one between these two clubs. We'll head to the 8th. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. So we enter inning number 8 here from McDonald Stadium and Brad Long Field. And the El Dorado Broncos will bring in Joe Kennedy for the 8th inning. Kennedy, 13 innings on the season, 4.05 ERA. He's walked 1 and struck out 5, and he has a record of 1 win against 1 loss. And he'll face Austin Shirley to lead it off, and the first pitch right in there for strike 1. Joe Kennedy out of Newman University. His hometown is just down the road in Augusta. 6'3", 190. And the 0-1 pitch hit out to short, and Grant Ware is right there for the catch. Soft line drive out to Ware for the first out. Good inning of work for Josh Thomas tonight. He goes 1 inning, no hits, struck out 1. And Robbie Glendenning comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Right-handed batter is Glendenning. And he looks at strike 1. Glendenning out of Northern Iowa Community College. And a high chopper to Colsing. He's got it. Fires over to first base. And 99 times out of 100, Colsing hits the first baseman right in the numbers. That's 3 times tonight Glendenning has grounded out to Tony Colsing. So here comes Alex Aguirre. Aguirre is 0 for 3 tonight. 3-2 El Dorado, top of the 8th inning. Kennedy fires in strike 1. If you haven't seen Joe before, he kind of a sidearm delivery. He steps towards the third base side of the mound. So for a right-handed batter, that ball is kind of starting right at your shoulder almost. And then it breaks right in there. It's 0-2. 2 away here in the 8th inning. Joe Kennedy with an 0-2 count against Alex Aguirre. And the pitch. Hit up the middle, and Kennedy snares it for the 3rd out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Bronco pitching. A good inning for Kennedy. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. El Dorado 3, Dodge City 2. Terrific relief pitching so far for El Dorado. Josh Thomas with a scoreless 7th. Now Joe Kennedy with a scoreless 8th. Jake Woodkey will lead it off for the Broncos here in the home half of the 8th inning. Woodkey 1 for 2 tonight. 3-6-0 for El Dorado. 2-2-1 for Dodge City. Just 2 hits allowed by Bronco pitching to this point. And the first pitch to Woodkey in there for strike 1 from Giles Fox. Second inning of work for Giles Fox. He leads the team in appearances. This is his 13th game and a 1.71 ERA, which is tops on the Dodge City team. Woodkey grounds it out to short. Glenn Denning gets a nice hop, fires over to first. Low throw, nice pick by Becker for the first out. Infielders love a first baseman that can pick him out of the dirt. Clayton Dalrymple with a rare night. He's 0 for 3. Came into the game batting .437. And he'll face the tough lefty, Giles Fox. Rips one down the third baseline. Fair ball. Dalrymple will have 2 for sure. On his way to second. Looking at third, and he'll slow up there and return to second. So you knew Dalrymple was due. And a stand-up, 1-out double for Clayton Dalrymple. Here comes Tyler Sutherland. Sutherland last night 0 for 4, tonight 0 for 3. So here's another Bronco that's due. Came into this game batting .337. And the first pitch, fisted foul out of play, strike 1. 3-2 Broncos here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Wade Hanna waits on deck for El Dorado. The 0-1 pitch, that's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Royals with a good win today. First game of a doubleheader. And the 1-1, outside ball 2. You got another email from the Galvins mentioned, see, Josh has been up 3 times tonight, and in 2 of his 3 at-bats, we've lost our connection. I promise it's just by sheer accident, but Josh grounded out to second base in his at-bat. It was hit off the pitcher's mound. He lined it up the middle, but it ricocheted off the hill and angled toward the second baseman, Alex Aguirre, and he threw out Josh. 3 balls and a strike here to Tyler Sutherland. And Fox comes home with it, and it's hit out to shortstop. Glendenning's got it. Looked at Dalrymple. Now we'll take the sure out at first base. So Clayton advances to third. And Sutherland is retired for the second out. Now this Bronco team known for their defense and their two-out hitting this year. For the season, the team is batting .309. Wade Hanna, 1 for 3 tonight. His first at bat against Giles Fox, and the fastball is a little too tall, ball 1. John Eberhardt waits on deck for El Dorado. 3-2 Broncos. They'd like a little insurance. And that pitch upstairs, ball 2. 2-0 to Wade Hanna. Hanna hitting .317 coming into play tonight. Just a little above the team average of .309. And the 2-0 pitch just inside, and it did graze the jersey of Hanna. So that's if you're going to be hit by a pitch, that's the way you want it to do it. Just kind of graze that jersey. You'll see batters kind of have a little bigger jersey and not tuck it in super tight, because if it's hanging out there a little bit and the ball hits the jersey, it's a hit by pitch. So Wade Hanna's down at first base. Clayton Dalrymple at third, and John Eberhardt up at the plate. 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. And Fox comes home, and Eberhardt thought about offering, held back, 1 ball and no strikes. Eberhardt at .311 on the season. He's driven in 20. He's looking for 21 right here. And the 1-0 pitch, that one's in there for strike 1. Giles Fox, as I mentioned, a 1.71 ERA and 21 innings of work. Giving up just 19 hits coming in. And the pitch, Eberhardt lifts it out to center field. All the way back to the track, to the wall, and gone. John Eberhardt, a 3-run home run to center field. Well, that one just kept on carrying. Kevin Connolly crashed into the wall. He thought he had a little more room. John Eberhardt with his 5th home run of the season. And that turns a 3-2 game into a 6-2 game. A 3-run home run from Eberhardt. Here's Elijah Christensen. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. So a 1-0 count. Your count is wrong. Gina, you've got 4 balls and 4 strikes on the scoreboard. 1 ball and 1 strike to Elijah Christensen. 2 away here in the Bronco 8th inning. Christensen homered earlier, and there's one in there, strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. Christensen 1 for 2, home run in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th, and popped out to first base in the 6th inning. Down in the count here, 1-2, and that one hits off the plate, ball 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Giles Fox to Christensen, and the pitch, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. But John Eberhardt with a 3-run home run to straightaway center field. The Broncos will head to the 9th inning with a little more room to breathe. Our score, El Dorado 6, Dodge City 2. So the El Dorado Broncos, with a 3-run 8th inning, take a 6-2 lead, and they'll bring in their closer, although this is not a safe situation now. It's a 4-run lead. Derek Feige into the game. Derek with a 2.87 ERA. He's 2-1 on the season with 7 saves. And he'll look at the heart of the order, 3-4-5 for Dodge City here in the 9th inning. Kevin Connolly, 0 for 3. Connolly faced Feige last night, walked in the 9th inning. And the first pitch to Connolly, that's inside, ball 1. Derek last night in 1 inning gave up a run, a hit, and 3 walks. So he's going to try to clean that up here tonight. 1-0 to Connolly. And Kevin lifts it straight up in the air. Galvin realized that it was going to hit the top of the stadium, as it did. 1 ball and 1 strike. Connolly, Becker, and Souter due up here for Dodge City. Feige winds and deals the pitch. Caught the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kevin Connolly coming in as the leading hitter for the A's at .326, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. And the 1-2. Hit out towards second. Jake Woodkey with an easy catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and here comes Luke Becker. Luke Becker has been on base all 3 times tonight. 2 walks and a single. He scored one of the 2 Dodge City A runs. He walked in the 2nd inning to lead off that inning and then scored on Steven Souter's 2-run home run. A single in the 4th and then walked in the 6th. So 1 for 1 officially. And he's ahead 2-0 here. Becker and Haggerty were the only 2 A's that did not face Feige last night. The A's sent 7 to the plate against Derek in the 9th inning. That one's in there for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. Two balls and a strike. And that one way upstairs, ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike. And that one fisted foul, 3-2. Mentioned how the Broncos just have been getting ahead and playing from ahead a lot of times during this terrific stretch of 13 out of 14. They fell behind 2-0 in the top of the 2nd, but Elijah Christensen's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd answered that. Then a run in the 4th and 3 in the 8th. And on the outside corner, and strike 3 looking for Luke Becker. So 2 away for Dodge City here in the 9th inning. And Steven Souter, 1 for 3. 2-run home run off the scoreboard in the 2nd inning. First pitch just off the plate, ball 1. Link for tomorrow night's game will be posted either tonight or tomorrow morning on my YouTube page. Also on the Broncos Facebook page and on the Broncos Twitter page. And tonight's game will be archived as well shortly after we go off the air. 1 ball and 1 strike to Steven Souter. Matt Haggerty waits on deck, and this pitch on the corner, strike 2. So the Broncos a strike away from making it 14 out of 15. Feige with a 1-2 count. The pitch. Out of the zone. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dodge City with 2 runs on 2 hits. Andrew Morales in line for his 5th win. And the pitch. Down low, ball 3. So a full count to Steven Souter. And the pitch, low, ball 4. So a 2-out walk keeps the A's alive here in the 9th inning. And it's Matt Haggerty coming up. Haggerty coming into the game, batting .255. Matt's from Grand Canyon University, 6'1", 200-pounder. And he's 0 for 3 tonight. Ground out to second, a pop out to first, and a line out to short. Christensen will not hold Souter on, and he'll take second base. This one bounces. Galvin blocks it, but no stolen base for Souter. The Broncos not paying any attention. So a 1-0 pitch coming up here to Matt Haggerty. Leno Ramirez waits on deck for Dodge City. And this one laced foul down into the Dodge City bullpen. A ball and a strike. 6-2 El Dorado in the top of the 9th inning. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Right here on YouTube. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Feige. And that one's in there, strike 2. So again, the Broncos just a strike away from nailing this one down. Souter down at second base, 2 away, 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Broncos have done it again. 14 out of 15 for El Dorado. 6-8-0 for El Dorado, 2-2-1 for the Dodge City A's. Andrew Morales is your winning pitcher tonight, now 5-0. Matt Lutzenheiser, the hard luck loser. He pitched well tonight, but he gets the loss. And there was no save. The time of the game, 1 hour and 59 minutes. And El Dorado is now 24-9. The stars of the night, well, Andrew Morales went 6 innings and gave up just 2 runs on 2 hits. Getting his 5th win. Elijah Christensen with a 2-run home run, and John Eberhardt's 3-run homer in the 8th gave El Dorado a nice cushion, and they